Hello everyone, this is Mike Levin from MikeLevinSEO.com, and security is important. And I was planning on just flying over this step and not documenting it, but for the very reason I would fly over it is the reason people are going to be searching for it. There's not going to be a lot of information about this out on the internet. So the big trend in security in web app development is OAuth 2, which is tokenized access. So you say, I want permission to something, a web browser page pops up from whatever site is going to handle the login. Say it's Google. It says, this application wants access to this stuff inside of Google. Is that okay with you? You answer, yes, it's okay, and it gives you back a token. That token is a lot like your password that you can use from there on out, but it can be revoked and have control of permissions. And I'm already using a forked version of GData, and I am not confident that I'm going to be able to get through the OAuth 2 authentication way of handling my app. I'm going to use just a standard old-fashioned username and password login, but like I say, security is important. So I'm sitting here on a screen which is part of the process of setting up two-step authentication, two-step login in Google. And when you do two-step login, there's a whole bunch of apps out there that have no idea about, two-step login. After you try and use your default password, it gets challenged for, okay, give me the code that was just text message to your phone. The app has no idea. So Google provides this kind of one-off way of getting passwords for those types of apps. It's a lot like OAuth 2 authentication with tokens. So in this case, it's other, and I'm going to tell it it's my Gropey application, and then I hit generate. And then I hit pause here because I don't want you to see the password. And now what I do is I cover my password with a Macintosh sticky so you can't see it, but it tells you you can use this just like a normal password now on apps that don't know about two-step authentication. And when I hit done, it brings me back here and it shows me that I have a temporary password made for the application Gropey and that I can revoke it at any time. And when I try and use it, I might actually hit an error because it's going to be coming in from an unusual IP, and then Google will email us, and then we'll be able to go and tell it, no, that's okay. So I'm back here in the interactive Python console, and I am going to exit out of that and remove the temp.pickle file, and then go right back into the Python environment because now I'm going to actually do it for real. So that is going to be, what's that going to be? Think that through. Oh, it's just repeating the last tutorial. I don't really even need to do that for you. I did exactly what I did above, but now with the real data. Okay, and so there is the file in my project directory, and now I can vim the Gropey file. And when we left off the last time, if glob.db source, now in order to make this easier to look at, I'm going to get this else, and I'm just going to delete all that. And I'm just going to put a pass in there, but I leave that else in there to remind me that I want to handle that else fallover condition. But now, instead of this guy here, I've got another approach that involves importing pickle and then pickle.load temp.pkl RB, and that needs to have a file, a variable name that's going to be login. And now I pause it while I go get the syntax for gdata login. Well, actually, since we know we're importing gdata, I'll just put that here as well. And now we test and make sure that no errors get generated. That's going to be, we already did it right, I believe, so type it into Python. Okay, type error string indices must be integers. I did something wrong somewhere. 23 in main. 23. Oh, okay, yeah. It went through that logic loop, and it's not sitting on top of the right data at this point. So I actually want to just return from main at this point and not step through that loop because we don't really have the data. But it should get down to that far in the program without generating an error. And indeed it does. So I'll stop the video there. The next video will probably pick up with actually doing a gdata login. Okay, thanks for joining me, and talk to you soon, and don't forget to subscribe.